Hello, this is Eric Donato here with DarkFire Airsoft, and today we are going to be doing a little review on the LongBow BBs, which, as you can see right here, I got 4 different bottles here. So a little bit about the LongBow BBs. LongBow specializes in high-quality, heavyweight BBs. That's what they set out to do. Not very many companies do this. Most of them just make the smaller weight BBs, and the heavier weight BBs are kind of like a extra. Like back here I've got Valken .43s heavyweight BBs. They're black and they're not that great, which I'll get a little bit more into that in a few minutes. Okay, so maybe to help you a little bit, I'm going to give you a brief breakdown of my history using heavyweight BBs sniping. So first off, for a while I was using a basic MB05 sniper from Well, which, if you don't know, it's the same thing as the L96 platform. Well, Type 96, not L96. There is a difference. So after I started upgrading, I realized that I needed to get heavier weight BBs. So I was using the Valken .32s for a while, and those worked out pretty well. But after I got a little bit heavier weight spring, I needed to upgrade the weight, so I got these, the Valken .43. These are black, which, if you don't know or haven't used black BBs before, they're kind of hard to see. Actually, not kind of, they are extremely hard to see. So that's a problem when you're trying to snipe, because if you want to adjust for windage and general range, it's a little bit harder to do with black BBs, because with white ones you can shoot, see where it goes, adjust your shot, and shoot again. Usually you'll hit it on the second try, if not the first, of course, with the white BBs. Black ones make it a little bit harder because you can't adjust that well. That's not the only problem with them. I've noticed that they break pretty easily. In fact, I've had them break in my mags, and they'll shoot down the barrel broken, which is really not good. That can scratch your barrel pretty badly. Well, right now I have a stainless steel barrel, so it probably won't do too much damage, but it's still not something you even want to risk. So then I found out about LongBow BBs, and I decided to get my hands on, well, all of them, I guess. So I actually got wholesaling with LongBow to sell in my store, DarkFire Airsoft. So I have some of these bottles, which are very good, and I even use these myself. So right now I'm just kind of laying out a few of the BBs, one of each. Which actually I'm going to put this one back here. Well, no, yeah, back here, because that lines up with the .43 LongBow. As you can see here, I immediately started using the LongBow .5 gram BBs. These are the only ones that they make that are black. I wanted to try them out because they are the heaviest weight that they make. The other weights that they make are .4. .43, which is the same weight as the Valken, which is why I lined these two up here. .45, and then the .5. So, as you can see, I used quite a bit. A little bit less than half of the bottle. And then I started using .45s to try these out. I didn't use as much of these. So overall, what I've kind of figured out with these is I prefer the .45s because of the fact that they are white. The .5s are a little bit lighter color than the Valken .43s, but they're still difficult to see. If you get the right lighting, you can see them, but it's just too much of a guessing game when you're going to be able to see them. I find it just easy to use the white ones. Here, let me kind of hold these up for you. Alright, so this right here is the LongBow .5. This is the Valken .43. That's kind of hard to see. And that's a little bit better right there. As you can see, the LongBow is almost like a gray color. They're not quite black. These are actual black. These make the longbows are a little bit easier to see. So I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment here. This is the first time I've ever done this experiment, so I don't know how the results are going to turn out, but I can guess just because of the fact that I've been using all these BBs in the past. Well, I haven't used the .4s or .43s, but from what I can tell, they're made of the same materials as the .45s, just not quite as dense. I might not be 100% correct on that one, but it seems like a very similar material. Alright, so I've got some weights here. First off is a 10-pound dumbbell. I'm going to test them one by one, starting with the Valken .43. So I brought that up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay one side of the dumbbell on it. So that way, it can't really roll away or anything. And we'll see if it gets crushed or damaged in any way. I don't think 10 pounds will do any damage, but I guess we're about to find out. Alright. If there was any damage, probably would have done it by now. Let's examine the BB. Does not appear to be any damage at all. Alright, so let's move on to the next weight up, which unfortunately I do not have a very wide variety of dumbbells. The next one is 25 pounds, which picking it up with one hand is kind of awkward, but 5 pounds. So let's see how this damages it. Alright. Does not really appear to have done any damage. Actually did more damage to the rag. There's a little mark there. Kind of funny. But yeah, it's still in good condition. Alright, so the last weight that I have here, because I do not have a very diverse amount of dumbbells, is 35 pounds. Alright. It doesn't appear to have... no, it didn't really do much. Let's see. Oh, wow. I dropped it. Yeah, it doesn't really appear to have gotten damaged at all. Wow, it's not focusing on this at all. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus on. Okay, it doesn't want to focus. But yeah, you can tell in person that it didn't really do any damage. So that was the heaviest that I had. So instead I'm going to try putting the 35 pound back onto it and adding weight on top of the dumbbell. Okay, so 35 is sitting on it. Alright, now let's add the 10 pound weight on top. Kind of flex the table. You can't really look here. Let me show you. I see it's sitting on top there. Alright, now let's see what happened. Appears to still be in decent condition. It looks like there's a little bit of a flattened part. That's because they're so soft. Even hard BBs shouldn't flatten, they should shatter. More properties of glass than clay. Alright, now let's try putting the 25 pound on top of the 30 pound. Oh, I think it did something. I think it moved. Okay. Removing 35. Oh, yep. That's done for. Let's get you a little bit better close-up of this. Again, my camera doesn't want to focus. But yeah, you can see that's just totally smashed. That was after the two dumbbells, 135 pound and 125. Remember, I'm only using half of the dumbbell approximately. So it's more of just kind of a basis to judge it by. But so yeah, that's crumbling apart. Okay. So now that we know that that breaks, that the Valken BBs will break after both 35 and 25 pounds. All right. Okay. So now let's test the .4 position, but close. I'm going to move through this one pretty fast because let's not bother to wait when it probably won't do any damage. Yep, 10 pounds, no damage. I did set it on there and release my help from it. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I'm not holding it up at all. So that was the 25 pound there. Here's the 35. Okay, no damage. Oh, I should have just left it on there. 35. 10. I'm looking underneath it, no damage. 35. 25 I'm setting on right now. Okay, this is the same weight that broke the Valken BB. Okay, I can tell because I can move. The camera is kind of immobile right now, but it did not break, as you can see here, after the same weight of the Valken BB took. It is slightly damaged. There is a scratch on it. I don't know if that's from the weight or just plain from the weight or just from the dumbbell scratching it. So now let's try stacking all three of them on there. This is the last test I can do that has any sort of accuracy, really. Alright, so we're back to 35 and 25. Now I'm adding the 10 on top of it. I heard a noise, but I can't tell what happened, if anything. Okay, removing dumbbells. 10 pound is off, 25 pound is off, 35 pound is off. Okay, it actually held up to all of them. It's actually got a... Yeah, I don't really see any damage other than the original scratch. So the last test that I can even do is just to try to squeeze it with the pliers, really. So we know for sure it'll withstand more strength than the Valken at this point. Let's see how hard it is to... Well, actually, here. Why don't we do the same thing with the Valken just to show you. I've already done this before, but you'll be able to see what will happen. With not very much strength at all, it just basically crumbles. I was not straining at all. It didn't take much strength to break that. Okay, now let's try the 0.4. See how much strength I have to put into this. Alright, I'm definitely at the same amount of strength I put into the Valken. Alright, I probably doubled it. Yeah, that probably took close to triple the amount of strength to break. And as you can see, it did kind of squish together a little bit, but it's mostly shattered. Like I said before, like properties of glass. It didn't really squish, it more shattered. Alright, so that actually withstood quite a bit of weight. The next test will be on the 4 3s. Alright, 10 pounds. Nothing happened. 25 pounds. Nothing happened. 35 pounds. Nothing happened. 35 plus 10. Nothing happened. 35, well here, I'm going to just verify it for you, since I'm sure you want to see it. Nothing has happened. Okay. 35 plus 25. Nothing's happened. Table shifted a little bit, but nothing's happened. Oh, I actually should have just left that on. 35 plus 25 plus 10. Yeah, nothing's happened yet. As you can see here, stacked all of them on there. Remember, this is the 0.43. As I said before, I think it might be the same material, or at least similar in property with the 0.4 and the 0.45. So, actually, I think this might be even less damaged than the last one. There's no scratch on it at all. That's pretty impressive, actually. Alright, so this being the same weight as the Valken just goes to show per weight, you know, the quality difference. Alright, let's try squishing this. Alright, I'm at as much strength as the Valken BB. Probably doubled now. Probably as much as I had put into the .4 and still not breaking. Holy crap, that took a lot of effort. That took way more than even the .4, so these are taller because of the density. And that did not squish together at all. It shattered completely. Okay, 2 more BBs to test. Oh, let's get some of these pieces out of the way. Yeah, that's from the 4.3 again. Alright, here's the .45, the ones that I've been personally using. So I'm quite curious to see how these will hold up. I think they'll hold up just fine because I got quite a few kills with these and I'm very impressed. So maybe a little bit of biased, unfortunately, but actually that's not really biased, that's just observation. That was the 10 pound, here's the 25 pound. No damage. Here's the 35 pound. No damage. Here's the 35 plus 10. No damage. 35 plus 25. I'm not seeing any damage, but here, let me show you exactly what I'm seeing. Okay, you see, there is a little bit of a brown mark, I'm sure you can see in the camera, on the top of the BB. Just for your information, that's not any damage. Well, I guess that is a little bit of damage. It's slightly indented there, but, or rather scratched, from the dumbbells. Okay, so here, camera problems, the video cut out. So back to where we were, here's a 35 pound weight on the .45. We already tested it with the .2, or with the 25 pound on top, but let's put it back on, and let's put the 10 pound weight on top. Okay, I looked underneath, doesn't seem like there's any damage. Here, let me kind of give you a little bit of proof here. All 3. Yeah, you can still see it underneath there a bit. Let's pull them off now. Alright, 10 pound is off. 25 pound is off. 35 pound off. Okay, so as I said before, that's about as far as I can go with the weights. Now it's up to the pliers. But first, let's kind of review the BBs to see how well they held up. I see a little bit of an indent, but not enough to make any difference on this side right here. I mean, it's not even a millimeter, not even a 1/10 of a millimeter. It looks pretty strong, to be honest. I mean, it's a little bit dirty from the rust on the dumbbells, but that's kind of hard to avoid. Alright, so plier time. Alright, I've put in as much as the Falcon could take. Probably now as much as the .4 could take. Now as much as the .43 could take. Wow. That took a ton of force to break. I'm quite impressed. You won't have to worry about that breaking in your mags. Again, I think it has something to do with the density, because it seemed like from the .4 to the .43 it got stronger than from the .43 to the .45 it got stronger. Now, the last BB, which I'm quite curious to see how this one's going to turn out, is the .5. Obviously, it's a different material. It's black, well, not black, sorry, dark gray. It's not white like the other ones. So, now let's test out its strength. 10 pound, no damage. 25 pound, no damage. I'm going to explain something while I'm doing this. The reason I don't just automatically jump up to the 35 plus 25 pound, right away, is because of the fact that you got to make each BB undergo the same exact procedure. Otherwise, I'm adding the 10 pound. Otherwise, the results might not be the same, because maybe adding, a little bit of weight at first kind of weakens it a little bit. So if I jumped all the way up to the 35 plus the 25, which I'm at right now, it might have broken later. Like, it might have lasted longer. Which we want to get accurate results.
So now I've stacked all 3 weights on top here. Actually, I kind of did vary that one. I didn't pull it off so you could look at it. So here, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I did vary the experiment ever so slightly per BB. I don't think it was enough to make any difference, and that was my fault. But yeah, it withstood all that. I'm looking at it now. This one actually seems to be the least damaged out of any of them. I mean, there's nothing. It's clean. Okay, no, I do see a dent. Maybe it was just the gray color threw it off. But yeah, I do see a little dent right there. I don't even know if it's possible to see on the camera. Okay, so pliers time. Alright. Again, just to kind of explain this before I start squeezing on these pliers. The pliers are not really scientifically accurate by any means. You know, and there's 1.5 million factors, you know, obviously exaggerating that fact. But, you know, anything from muscle fatigue to hand placement to placement of the BB can change this. It's just kind of a last little thing that I'm trying. It's nothing scientific. So everything I say, you know, when I say that the .45 seem to last longer than the .43, that's kind of observation based. It's not really scientific, which is why I was using the dumbbells. Those are more scientific. Not perfectly scientific as much as I'd like it to be, but it's close. Alright, so now I'm going to start squeezing. Alright, I'm at the point where I'm at the Valken BB. I think I'm at the .4 by now. Probably at the .43 by now. I think I'm at the... oh, no, not quite. Alright, that was where the .45 broke, I think. Jeez. 2 hands. Wow, that took a ton of pressure to break. Even though it's gray and not white like the other BBs, it was still really tough. In fact, I think it was tougher than the other BBs. And it did shatter for sure. There's no squishing involved. It shattered like glass, which is ideal. You never really want it to squish because then you know it's made out of a softer material. You don't ever want it to shatter either, but the odds of it shattering at that strength in any sniper, it's just very unlikely. I mean, you'd have to have such an extreme spring with a very flawed system to break a BB like that. So yeah, that is my little stress test on the BBs. You can see I made quite a bit of a mess. I'm going to have to clean that up later. But that is a little bit of an insight onto the BBs, the LongBow BBs. Personally, I prefer the .45s just because they're white. It has made it a lot easier to adjust where I'm shooting. I have to say that it's at least doubled the amount of kills I've gotten since I started with those. Obviously, the .5s are up to the task. They are strong enough, and they are certainly heavy enough, but they're just not light enough to see, I think. I know for sure that they are working on changing the color of these. I talked with LongBow, and they told me that they've been, you know, trying to figure out a new material that will work that's white. So that's something that's quite good. I don't think Valken's trying at all. I might be wrong on that one. You know, maybe Valken is trying. Maybe they're trying to get better. You know, I'm not gonna diss them without having any proof, but that's just a little bit of observations from the outside. But yeah, that's a review on the LongBow BBs. I quite like them. They have been the best sniper BBs I have ever used. You guys can form your own opinions. You can get some and test them out however you'd like. I'd be very happy to watch those videos. Alright, see you guys next time.